Hello my dears, this is Sarah from SheHoldsDearly.com, and today I'm gonna share with you my favorite painting supplies and how I store them. So if you are a DIYer, you know what I'm talking about, where you have all these different supplies and it starts to get to be too much and you need to find a way to organize them. My favorite way to organize things in my house is if I have a decorative piece that's also functioning as a storage piece. Then it's a win-win and it's all right there in my space, but you don't know it's there. So for my furniture makeover type paints and even some of my upholstery supplies, I keep them in my steamer trunk. So I was given this steamer trunk for free, and the reason my friend gave it to me, I think, is because it smelled so bad inside. It was so musty. I tried a whole bunch of different things. I never actually was able to do sort of the home remedy type things that people were suggesting. I think I tried like 7 things or something. But anyway, I have a video that you can watch for how I actually ended up curing the problem. I needed to actually strip out the old felt liner, and I had to use a steamer and everything, completely clean it up and then add primer to get rid of that smell. So if you've got a piece of furniture like that that you need to deal with, watch this video and that will help you a lot. Then I got the idea that I wanted to decoupage the inside of it, so I used some old wrapping paper that I had, and I have a whole tutorial on how to do that as well. All right, let's look inside my steamer trunk, and I'm gonna show you all the different sections and all my little tricks. So inside the lid, I have these knife magnets that people normally would put on the wall, but I've got them here for my paintbrushes. Just goes like that. And I love this feature. I bought 2 of them, and I will link them in the description below for you. And then I just want to spend a minute talking about brushes to have on hand. So I love Purdy brushes. I love the Magnolia Kiehl's brushes, and if I had one brush that I would recommend, it would be a 1.5 inch angled. So this is the one I would start with. If you are doing mineral paint, Fusion has their own little angled brush, which I love. Then over here, I've got some other things. I've been trying out some of these Annie Sloan brushes. This one is supposed to be really good for, and I haven't even used it yet, but it's supposed to hold just a ton of paint when you're using chalk paint. All right, then I have this little booster brush, which I'm like running into the ground, but these are only about $5, and I like them when I'm doing like the inside of furniture, like maybe inside of a nightstand, and I don't have a lot of room to have a big handle. And it also is really comfortable because it's rubber and it just like folds into your hand a little bit. So this is a good one to have on hand. Not expensive, so good little investment. I have a little whisk here for when I'm mixing up milk paint. And then last but not least, I have my wax brushes, and you're gonna want 2 if you're into milk paint and chalk paint. So I have my dark wax brush, and you do not want to use this with your clear wax or your white wax. You want to have a separate dark wax, and it's a Sift brush, S-I-F-F, which is considered the world's best wax brush, and I do agree, it's pretty awesome. These are a little pricey, but in my experience, they're worth it. You can get a little bit cheaper one. I feel like this was a little over $20, but this is my clear coat one. And if you're not ready to invest in your brushes like this, you can just use an old t-shirt. Anything soft that doesn't have lint issues would be fine. What I like about the Sift brushes is that they don't shed. Now, I am thinking about doing another video where I show how to care for brushes and how I like to clean them and condition them. If you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below and I can get that on the calendar for you guys. Okay, so then down in into this trunk more, I have my buffing brush, which is also a Sif brush. And I use this once I've waxed a piece of furniture. I'll just buff it up, polish it like you're polishing shoes. I have this is a Ralph Lauren brush, which I use for texturing walls. Like I can get a look of linen on walls, which is really beautiful. Then I suggest having on hand foam brushes. These are good because they're throwaway for projects. And I also have a whole box of these chip brushes. Again, these are super cheap for just a little fast project, and you just throw them away when you're done. You don't have to wash them. They're not worth washing. Okay, so then moving down off to the left here, I have my drop cloths. I organize this in a way that's sequential for how I'm actually doing projects. So I have 3 of these big tubs, and the first one is marked here. It says prep, and then I have drop cloths right off to the side here. So inside my prep box, I keep my sandpaper, and sometimes this is only what I'm actually getting into. Like if I just bought new paint or something, I don't have to take this whole thing apart. I just have to open up this top bin. So in this box, I have my sandpaper. I love 400 grit. I don't use that a ton. I mean, my go-to like bread and butter type of sandpaper is the 220 grit. You definitely need a pack of this around. So I have a lot of that. And then within this box, I also have stripping gel. I have my favorite primers. I have some shellac. And I will link my favorite primers and the way I use them. This is how I wash my brushes. This will be a sneak peek for you. I use all natural 100% lye soap to clean my brushes. Then I've got stir sticks. Here's a scraper for if I'm stripping furniture, and I have steel wool, which is good for stripping like details, like fancy legs on a chair or something, which I can't scrape with this tool. I'll take steel wool and rub off the detailed areas. And then, of course, some latex gloves. Okay, so that's my prep box, and these are my paints. So I pretty much, I mean, with furniture, I just use a quart size. So they're small enough to fit in these bins. So I have several chalk paints. Pro Classic is a fabulous one for painting furniture. Pro Classic Satin Interior Acrylic Latex. This is my paint that I painted my mantle with upstairs. I've got lots of these. These are made by Rust-Oleum, and I'll show you in a minute. I use these for my spray paints. I love those. I also have my milk paint. I have my mineral paint, some little sample pots from Annie Sloan. And then I do have a recipe for how to make my own chalk paint, and so I have a bag of calcium carbonate in here. And that rounds out my paint bin. The third box is my projects box. Within that box I have, I'm not gonna pull it out, but it's my decoupage material. This is a feather finish if I'm gonna do some type of a faux concrete look. I've got my stapler for my upholstery. So all my upholstery stuff is on this side. I've got my gilding leaves. So those types of extra things that are just kind of miscellaneous, I keep those in the very bottom because I don't use those quite as much as the top two. So I have this nice little strip here in the front of the bins, and that's where I drop down my spray paints. I'm just gonna share with you my favorite ones. And then I'll show you how to use this Rust-Oleum tool. This is a fabulous, this is my very favorite cream spray paint. It's heirloom white in satin, and it's the 2X one, which means it has the paint and the primer, so it's one coat. And I buy it by the case, so this is a great one to have on hand. This is my favorite gold spray paint. It's by Design Master, 24 karat pure gold. the one I recommend for gold projects. And then I have Oil Rubbed Bronze is another one I love by Rust-Oleum. You can tell I love Rust-Oleum. You want to pinch these two pieces together so you can open it up and fit it around. And then you just, I'm not going to do it because I'm in the house, but you just pull this trigger here and it depresses down on the button, and then it's not getting all over your finger's not getting all achy, and it actually acts like a little mini sprayer, and these are about $5, so that's a great piece to have. So the last part is off to the left of the bends. I have some cheesecloth, I have just some old t-shirts for waxing and cleaning up areas that I need. All my waxes are kept over here, my top coats. I have some oils. This is something that I wanted to share with you. These are paper towels that I love. I will link these below, but I love them because they basically feel like fabric. So for cleanup, or if I'm like trying to do a color washing, you know, where I've painted and then I'm gonna wipe off some of the detail and let another color show through underneath, I love these paper towels. All right, so now you know what I keep in this trunk and how I keep it all organized. My life has gotten much simpler now that I've actually organized this thing. So I hope you got some really good ideas, and I hope that's really helpful to you. These are the kinds of things that I cover in my behind the scenes design group, where we have a private design community, and I do a lot of more personalized training with people about interior design, and we really focus on a lot of DIY design as well, but there's very much a professional side to it. And I only open the school and receive new students from the public twice a year. It's coming up on March 24th. We're gonna open the doors again for a few days. And if you'd like to join us, get on the wait list in the description below. And if you're not sure if you're ready for something that big, at least try to come to my mini course that I'm offering a couple days before that. On the 22nd, I'm offering a 3-day mini course on how to use Pinterest like an interior designer. It is imperative to know how to use Pinterest before you can actually design a space. So I'm gonna spend some time teaching you that, and I hope you feel totally empowered by the end of it. All right, thanks you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.